good, squad? No intro today. We feeling great. The topic of the conversation is don't hate the player or the game. And why is that? Because that's just part of life. Men are going to be men. Women are going to be women. At the end of the day, by our natural nature that we're born with, we're going to do what is instinctively instilled within us to do. You know what I'm saying? So men are natural hunters. So yes, we want you. You know what I'm saying? We see a specific woman we go after her. You know what I'm saying? We try to get her within our close enough vicinity so that we can acquire what it is that we want to acquire from her, which up front is the physicality. But then after that, if we end up liking you, you know what I'm saying? If we feel like we like you, then we want to keep you around. Then we might want to have a relationship. But that's not going to stop most men from wanting to venture off into other areas and hunt for more women. You know what I'm saying? That's just part of our nature at the end of the day. So you can either be mad at that, or you can accept it for what it is and learn whatever it is that you need to learn as far as femininity in order to tame that beast. Because that's what the power of women is really. The women have more power than what they really give themselves credit for, but it's because they don't tap into their feminine nature enough that they can't do what it is that they want to do. As far as when it comes to men, you know what I'm saying? If they were more tapped into their feminine nature, they would be able to have more persuasion over men, which really, and that's what it comes down to with women. Women are natural manipulators. But like when I say manipulation, I really mean persuasion. Like they have the art of persuading a man to do the things that they want to do because of their because they know they have what we want at the end of the day. Women's power comes from the fact that we as men want sex. So at the end of the day, in order to get what we want, we have to play the game in order to get what we want. That's why you can't hate the player or the game, because at the end of the day, it's just part of life. And when we really like a certain player within the game, that's when we are more willing to settle down and be monogamous. But what women mess up on is y'all lock us down and then remove what it was that got you the power that you wanted. And at the end of the day, you take the sex away, and then that's when the relationship becomes dry. But then you get mad when men go out and want to get sex from somewhere else, but that's because you're holding a lock and key onto that instead of using it how you were using it in the beginning. That's where women mess up at. It's not even the fact that men just want to go out here and just cheat and have a whole bunch of women. It's really because once y'all get us, y'all don't do the same stuff y'all were doing in the beginning that y'all got to get us. Y'all get way too comfortable, and y'all start to take the stuff back that you were doing in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? All that all the things you were doing to be persuasive, you revoke that because now you got the prize, and since you got it, now you're like, all right, I got it, I don't got to do nothing else. Especially if you get married. Once you get married, you might as well call it a wrap, because once they get that ring and they lock you in, it's a wrap for you unless you're with the right one. Now, there's always an exception to every rule. So this doesn't apply to every woman that's out there, and it doesn't apply to every man that's out there. But at the end of the day, the majority, especially nowadays, like with modern society and how everybody's programmed, everybody is always thinking about themselves at the end of the day. They're not even thinking about the other partner no more, what their needs is. They're worried about getting what they need for themselves. And that's where you mess up, though, because when you're uber selfish, there's nothing wrong with being selfish, but when you're uber selfish, like when you're so selfish that you're not even thinking about the other person, or you're only like your whole relationship is transactional, that's when it becomes dry, stagnant, and then that's where you end up bouncing from person to person. But the only thing is that bouncing from person to person affects women more than men, because women hold things internally. Everything's connected to your emotions, and even your sexual organs are on the inside. So when you deal with a man, like, it's scientifically proven that if you have sex with a man, part of him, his DNA is trapped within you. It stays within you. You can't get rid of it because it's on the inside of you. So the more and more men that you have, the more different kinds of DNAs are within you, and that messes up with your head. So now you can't even create a healthy bond with somebody because you've had so many partners that you done screwed up your mental. You know what I'm saying? And as far as men will be manipulative if they have a hard time getting the cakes. You know what I'm saying? If they have a hard time getting the sex from a woman, that's when they start to manipulate. Because there's some men out there who don't have to manipulate to get the sex. I'm one of those people who are straightforward when it comes to my situations. I've never had to manipulate to get that. Women are naturally attracted to me, so I'm always up front. But that's another thing too. It's like, you know what's weird with women is women want you to be, what I realized about women is women don't know what they want. They don't know if they want you to be honest or they want you to lie. Because if you're too honest, then they feel some type of way. But if you lie, then they feel some type of way. So you can't win either way. So your best bet is just to be, my thing is I'm always just honest. And if you can take it, then you can take it. But if not, then you can't. And then that's when, they'll run away or something like that. But even if they run away, what I end up finding out is that they always, even if they can't handle being with you, at the end of the day, even if they never admit it, they respect you because you are honest. You know what I'm saying? Women don't like yes men unless they're one of those types of women who want a pet. You know what I'm saying? Like, they want somebody who's just a placeholder, but they don't want him to hold her accountable. You know what I'm saying? So they'll get with these guys and you'll be looking at it and you'll be like, you don't even understand it. But then when you think about it, you do understand it, because they just want a glorified pet. You know what I'm saying? They want somebody who they can control, but they're not attracted to that person. It's just easier to be with that person, but they're really attracted to the one who is going to hold them accountable and who will tell them straight up what it is. You know what I'm saying? They're not trying to, that man isn't trying to hurt your feelings, but he also isn't so caught up on your feelings that he's not going to tell you the truth, because actually at the end of the day, him telling you the truth is showing you that he actually cares, as opposed to somebody who's simping and saying whatever he has to say just to stay within your good graces. You know what I'm saying? A real man will say his piece while knowing that that's probably going to cause an issue, and you might end up not being with him, but he said what he had to say and he's standing on what he said. You know what I'm saying? So, and again, they respect that really more than the simp, but sometimes it's easier to be with the simp. So that's why you can't hate the player or the game, because let's say, even if on either end, like whether you but again, I think it's harder for women to cope with that type of stuff, because most men, when, let's say if you break up, most men, when a woman gets with another dude, if that man is confident within himself, he's not tripping about you being with somebody else. You know what I'm saying? He's not even thinking about it. At the end of the day, he's like, okay, we had our thing, you moved on, that's cool, do you? You know what I'm saying? I'm not tripping. I'll go, find somebody else who wants to be in this space or is energy. But for women, it's different, because it's like, when they see you with somebody else, they feel some type of way, especially if that person is who they deem as on their level or maybe above them. Then yeah, they're gonna feel some type of way, and they don't want you to be happy. Now again, that's not every woman, that's just majority of how women move, like today in this society. But that's not every single woman that's out there, because there's always an exception to the rule. But when you're talking to a lot of women and stuff like that, you start to realize, like, man, And even if you look at it how women treat each other, you like, yo, women will backstab each other just because they feel a type of way about a different woman. Like if a woman feels like a certain woman is above her in some sort of way, she'll try whatever she can to break that woman down, and so she can feel like they're on the same level. You know what I'm saying? So, but men ain't like that. Like we at the end of the day, we're not really tripping off of that. Like we'll just go do our own thing. You know what I'm saying? We're not really like that. So again, that's why you can't hate the player or the game, because that's just part of what it is. Like when you understand women's nature, which is really just they're trying to survive. So when they make moves, a lot of times it doesn't make sense, but you can't really care about it because it makes sense to them in their mind. But you got to understand that women are loyal to their emotions and how they feel in the moment. So they don't make rational, logical decisions most of the time. They're all over the place most of the time because they're dealing with emotions that are fleeting. You know, it's here, it's there, it's whatever. So where men aren't really like that. You know, most men are logical, and they make logical, sound choices off of what's dealt to them, or what they got going on within their lives. So that's why they say, like, men love unconditionally. Like when a man loves a woman, he really loves her. You know what I'm saying? And you know he really loves her because we're not wired to really be in just one situation with one woman, but we're willing to do it because we really care about that woman, to where most women love with conditions. You know what I'm saying? That you have to meet a certain condition in order for her to give you the grace of being with just her. But the minute that you can't meet a certain condition within her list of what she's got, or how she's feeling in the moment, that's when she starts to look over and see what could be better, what's the better option. You know what I'm saying? Because she's always living in survival for the most part. She's always looking to see what's gonna make her situation better. You know what I'm saying? So that's why they say that a man will sacrifice himself for his family, but a woman will sacrifice her family for her happiness. And it's true to a certain extent when you really think about it, you know. But again, there's exceptions to that rule, because it's the same way in other situations. Like a man will sacrifice his family for his happiness, depending on what the situation is. You know, and there are women out there who love unconditionally. So that's why, again, you can't hate the player or the game, because it really just depends on who you're playing the game with. You know what I'm saying? You can't really be upset if you play the game with somebody who you picked and they play you. You know what I'm saying? Because you picked that person to be your player that you're playing with. Your co-op, you picked that co-op, and that co-op had a different plan of the game than you did. But you got to be okay with that, because really at the end of the day, it's really not even personal at the end of the day. It's just because that's just the nature of what it is. So if a man is moving shiesty on you, my ladies, you know what I'm saying, you could be mad and upset about it, or you could just acknowledge for the fact that you picked that man, and you take accountability for what it is. Stop trying to blame him for what he did, and take accountability for the fact that you picked him. You know what I'm saying? So, and move on with your life, and not stay stuck with that. And it's the same way on the other end. If you got a lady, to my fellas, if you got a lady and you know you felt like you put in everything you needed to put in, and she moved some sort of weird way, you don't got to be mad about that. You just understand that you picked her. You know what I'm saying? And there was probably some red flags from the beginning, but you ignored it because you were trying to give some time or some space or whatever it is for growth, and that growth never came. So at the end of the day, you picked her, so you got to take accountability, and that's really what it comes down to. You can't hold anybody else in jail or contentment for what they did to you because you allowed it to happen. Because once you picked them, there were some red flags that was gonna tell you that this is what was gonna be if you kept going down this road, and you decided to keep going for whatever reason. So you can't be mad at the other person. You just accept it for what it is, because it's just part of the game at the end of the day. And eventually, when you get old enough, you stop wanting to play games, and you want to have, and then that's when you'll find somebody who is on the same wavelength of they don't want to play games either, and then y'all come together, and and then you come together and have a harmonious relationship, and everything's moving smoothly. You know what I'm saying? And then you're not even concerned or worried about what's going on or what happened before, because you ain't tripping, because that's in the past. So you can't change what happened. Only thing you can do is take accountability for the action you played, and change what you do, and change your energy so that you can attract the type of people that you want to attract into your life. You know what I'm saying? Even if it is that person who did whatever, and they maybe have healed and came back and y'all rekindle, or whatever the case may be, then ain't nothing wrong with that. You know, everybody needs space to grow sometimes. So that could be the case too. You know, that's why we shouldn't hold anybody into contempt, and why you should just move on, because when you hold on to that energy and anger, then it does nothing but hurt you, instead of just accepting it for what it is. Understand that a lot of it is just human nature, period, and just moving on, because at the end of the day, it's just part of what life is, you know what I'm saying? But it didn't kill you, you know what I'm saying? So if it didn't kill you, it made you stronger. So you just move on, and then go on about your business, doing whatever you need to do in order to better your life and have a better quality of life. But don't walk around being mad at people and mad at life for what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's just part of what happens. Forgive, let go, and spread love and positivity at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? So that's just my words of wisdom for today. Like and subscribe if you want to. It's up to you. Ain't no pressure. I appreciate you hanging out with me. I'm sending love out your way, and I'ma holla.